Hello and welcome. I am once again in my room. It is the end of October, which is crazy. Today I wanted to sit down and share all the cameras I use for YouTube or just for photos and videos. I have always really loved taking pictures and videos, and that's part of the reason why this exists. But I have been getting more comments and questions about what I used to film, so I thought I would just sum it up in this one video. I've also been getting a lot of comments asking about what camera this very camera is, so I would also love to share everything, what I use. I do have to preface though that I'm not like a big tech person. I just really like taking pretty pictures and videos and editing them and just having a good time. I'm just a girl after all. I am gonna share like what I like and what I don't like about each camera, but I won't have too much to say about like very specific specs. This is my first camera, Canon G7X Mark II. This is like my child because this was the first camera I ever bought with my own money, and I got this with my very first job. I think it was so worth. I was in like 10th grade at the time. I was in high school. I still love this camera. You can see it has been loved. One of the bolts like fell off, so I just taped it, and honestly it works. It does look a little crazy, but I still love it. I don't use this for vlogging anymore just because it's really old and it's not as reliable, but I do love the photo quality on here, and it also has the perfect like digital camera look that is very popular nowadays. The flash on here is also amazing, so I've seen a lot of people get this just for photos. Recently though, I went back and checked how much this camera is, and it went up by a crazy amount, so I don't know if it's exactly worth. I think they increased the price a lot because they don't make it anymore. But when I got it, it was around 600. This is the button for the flash. This is the video on this camera. A lot of people have complaints about this camera because this focus is very slow. Another thing I forgot that I love about this camera is that the colors I think look really pretty on this camera. It's not too like vibrant, but it's also not too dull. I'm putting this camera right next to this one so you can get a sense of the color difference. I think overall it has a very like clean color filter. So yeah, that is the Canon G7X. I will always prize this camera because it holds a lot of my beginning creating memories. Anyways, I forgot to mention though that the reason why I'm so attached to cameras and taking photos and videos is because before I got into design, I was actually first interested in photo and film. That was the entryway of my creative path. My very first camera actually wasn't this, but it was like a camera that was passed down to me from my family. I think the next camera that I got was actually this one. I'm gonna switch to this to talk about this camera. I also love using this because I think it makes my daily life activities look a little bit more vibey. The camera itself kind of does the work for me and makes my life sequences look a little bit more put together. I just like the mood that it gives. It kind of also has like a blue tint to it, so it makes it look a little bit more cinematic look in a way. I'm sure there's a word for it, but I just can't. To be honest though, I still am conflicted about like what I like better, if I like just a clean video like this or if I like something that has more style with the camera look. Back to this one now, and the next camera I want to show is the Sony ZV-1. I was really confused when I bought this because there's a ZV-1 which is this, and there's a ZV-1F, and they are two very different cameras. The price point is also pretty significant between the two. I'm not exactly sure what the difference is, but this is the one that's supposed to be more upgraded. This one I got kind of as a replacement for this one because the G7X kind of started breaking and falling apart. But after like 6 years of using this, I thought maybe it was time for an upgrade. So that is why I got this one. This is a really good camera for vlogging. I would also recommend this to anyone who is interested in vlogging. Screen comes out to the left, so that's one really big difference from this one. This was also significantly more expensive than my G7X. I think this one has a lot more features in terms of like video quality and capability, but I don't know exactly what, or I haven't used it enough to like use it to its full potential, I think. Here's what the Sony ZV-1 looks like. One thing I actually don't like about this is that when I'm like carrying the camera, the stabilization is not as good as my G7X. There is a feature like in camera stabilization mode, but if I do that, it kind of zooms in on the screen more. This camera, I think the colors are a little bit more vibrant too. I don't know, there's a specific like look that this camera gives off, and it's just personally not what I would prefer, but still a really good camera. And so there's like kind of 3 different modes for stabilization. If I press on the stabilization one, you can see it automatically crops it so it's like closer in, and they do this so that what you capture can be more smoother even if there's motion. But I just personally don't like this because this is like me at my arm's length, but it doesn't capture everything as it would have done if it was on the normal setting. This is just more effort for me because I would have to do this every time I vlog. But when I vlog, especially in public, I don't want to make it too obvious, and so I normally vlog like this, like at this distance, and this is what you would see. That is why, unfortunately, I do not use this as much as before. I used it a lot more often when I first got it, and it still is a really good camera, but I think just for my little preferences, it doesn't go as far as this one does. One regret though, they had a white version of this. I don't know why I didn't chase that one. I think it's a lot more cuter. It's also what NewJeans uses when they used to vlog, so I just think that's cute and interesting. I just keep remembering more reasons why I like this camera, but one thing I noticed is that it kind of has this feature where it automatically softens your skin tone. There is a feature where you can soften your skin tone on this camera as well, and I'm pretty sure that is why a lot of the K-pop people use this camera actually to vlog, but I think it looks really unnatural on here, or it's kind of like a little bit overboard, and I think this one is a lot softer and natural. So love this camera. I have another camera. This one I got the most recently. This is the Canon IVIS Mini X. I have been actually looking for this camera for years. They don't make these anymore, and I think even when they did make these, it was only in Asian countries. And so I actually had to get this off of eBay, and it was from Japan. The whole experience was really good, but I'm just really sad that they don't make these anymore. I actually got this before I went to Korea because it's the only one that's like wide angled from all the cameras I own. It has this fisheye style. It looks like this. So the good thing about this camera is that it is fisheye, but I guess the bad thing and the reason why I don't use it as much is because it is fisheye and it makes me look like a fish. But I think if you use it for its purpose, it's a good camera. People also say really good things about how the mic setting, like the built-in mic, is really good, and so you wouldn't even need like a separate mic. Here's what this looks like. This one does also take pictures. Since it is wide angle, you could just like hold it like really close to you, but it would still capture a lot of your background. It's also really good to just take with you. You open up the screen like this, and then you record with this button. So everything can be done with one hand, honestly. I think the Canon PowerShot V9 is supposed to be like a remake of this, but I think this camera still cannot beat it because I know that the new one that they made is not wide angle as this. This one is not a vlogging camera, but I just wanted to share. It's actually my mom's old camera that she used maybe like 10-15 years ago. I think Olympus cameras are really good because I know their film camera takes really beautiful photos, and this one also takes really pretty like flash photos. This is actually gonna be the last two. These are actually iPhones. I have been using these two a lot in this recent year. The photos that these capture are insane. Because it's an old camera and it's not supposed to be good, it makes things look good. If there's a busy background, it kind of softens everything because it doesn't have the capability to like get everything in detail, and so it softens a lot of colors and a lot of things look more muted, which I just am really loving right now. So that's why I've been using this. Only downside is that the audio is really bad, so I do need to have like another mic situation going on. This is the iPhone SE. This I also love. I don't use this for video because I think it's a little too extreme for me, like a little bit too old feel, but the photos on here are really good. I'll just show what it looks like though on video. But that's basically everything. I will also say that you don't need a real like digital camera or even a real like vlogging camera to start vlogging. I think just having an iPhone or even an old iPhone like this would do it. Like that's it. Yeah, I think a lot of people think you have to start by having all of this equipment, and you don't. All of what I showed today is a result of just my hobbies and over the years of thinking I wanted to be a photographer or a videographer. But all that aside, like nowadays I've just been vlogging on this one, and so I think if you are also interested in documenting your life, you don't have to go so far into investing in a lot of equipment, especially in the beginning. So you could just use what you have. I think what is more important is what you want to share, or like what stories or what kind of content or value you want to bring. Just my little 2 cents on that. Right now I'm really into all of the moody vintage looks, so that's probably why my videos look like that, but people have been interested, and so I just want to share that. It's probably these two that I have been using the most. I hope this was interesting. I think making content is really fun because you get to experiment with all of this stuff. Please let me know if you have any other questions about this whole thing, this whole journey of making content. See you very soon.